Welcome back to the Myths and Stories from Africa channel once again. We are glad to continue to make your day with educative as well as moral stories from our dear continent as usual. Without waste of time, let's get down to the next part of the mad woman's story. How did the young mad woman named Thandeka become a choir mistress in a church after all she had gone through? What made a good-hearted and respected man named Lethabo marry a young mad woman to the admiration of a priest in particular and the whole church in general? Without further waste of time, let's dive into the continuation of this thrilling and educative story. Interestingly, Lethabo, the good-hearted man, was also dreaming at this point in time. In his dreams, he saw Thandeka in her torn clothes fighting with someone looking strange. He saw her struggling with the person and later shouting. Everything was happening in the uncompleted building he had left her with some food just some hours back. He then saw some strange beads on the ground as rain fell on them. He also saw a dog chewing some bones in the rain. This was followed by a photo of the pretty young woman well dressed and smiling in the rain. He woke up suddenly from sleep. He was confused about the dream. Funny enough, it was actually raining here too. Is this just a dream or something real happening somewhere with the mad young woman? He thought of calling his priest but realized it was too early to do so. He decided instead to pray about the situation and struggled to go back to sleep. First thing the following morning, Lethabo hurried to the uncompleted building where he had left some food with the mad woman yesterday. He got the shock of his life. Not only were there scattered beads, bones and a damaged amulet by the entrance to the building, but they were just as he saw them in his dream, wet and dirty. Who brought these here? He then noticed her in a corner watching him carefully but in a different way from the way she used to. He slowly went towards her, not knowing what to do as he did not have the usual bag of food he usually brought to her due to his hurry to get to the place. To his uttermost surprise, she spoke very coherently as she asked him not to come close. She went on to ask him who he is and why he is here. Interesting too, she seemed somehow different this morning as she was dressed in rags that were not torn. He was even more surprised when she asked him if he was a pastor. It began to make sense to him that this young woman is no longer the same mad one he had left here yesterday. Something positive has happened to her for sure. He then tried his best to explain to her how he met her and has been praying for her recovery from the situation he found her in. He however told her to please trust him as he was going to get her out of this place to where she can take care of herself and they can talk properly. She agreed. He came back later and took her away in a car to his place where she was able to take a bath, wear nice clothes and had good food before having a long talk about her situation with this God-sent man named Lethabo. He gave her his own side of the story too and she thanked him profusely for coming to her aid. Lethabo later took her to his priest who was very happy to see the positive result of their prayers for the young lady. Thandeka naturally became a member of the church. As time went on, she got a good job somewhere in the city and thought of getting a place of residence for herself, but Lethabo naturally refused to let her out of his sight as he had already started developing feelings for her. In between, she fell sick at a stage to the extent of bleeding profusely and ended in a hospital where she got successfully treated and healed. She was surprised to hear from the doctor that she had lost a pregnancy she never knew anything about. She naturally thanked God for his intervention once again in her challenges, became more serious in church activities to the extent of becoming the choir mistress to the admiration of Lethabo and the priest. The fact that Thandeka naturally fell in love with Lethabo to the extent that they ended up in marriage was no surprise to the priest in particular and the rest of the members of the church and their other acquaintances. Thandeka's case proved to people who knew her from the beginning of her story that no matter the mistakes we make in life, God is always capable of repairing our battered lives as long as we are ready to change for the better options. Let us learn to forgive the errors of people who offend us and pray for them instead of trying to crucify them the way Mfo did, only to virtually destroy her life in the process. Please let us know in the comments section what you think about this story. In between, please do us a simple favor by liking, sharing and subscribing to this channel now. It costs you nothing but helps us a great deal in our aspiration to keep you well entertained and in growing the channel on YouTube. Thanks for visiting the Myths and Stories from Africa channel at Myth Stories from Africa.